What's up, guys? How you doing? I'm Paul.
I'm Morgan.
In today's video, the Super Bowl halftime show, it happened just yesterday. We're going to discuss, we're going to come down on where we stand. There's been a lot of different opinions on it. I've even seen among Christian conservatives online, there's been some differing opinions. So was it awesome? Was it one of the coolest Super Bowl halftime shows, nostalgic, appropriate, or was it sensually, we'll call it sensually explicit? I was looking for different like synonyms. I think sensually explicit to the point where we should be like, not cool. Yeah. Not cool. So that is the discussion topic for today. I'm excited. Morgan?
If you're new here, make sure you subscribe. If you're old here and you still haven't subscribed, then what are you waiting for? Subscribe. We make videos on culture, social issues, and the church. From a Christian perspective to help you have hope.
And be free. Awesome. All right, guys, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. Help the algorithms. Help more people get to see this video. Give that thumbs up. All right, Morgan, go ahead and pull up. I know you're drinking your tea. Don't spill the hot tea on you. Pull up the first slide of the performers.
There they are in all their glory.
Yes, we just had Super Bowl, I think it was 56. Does that sound right, you guys, in the live chat?
Idea. I don't know Roman numeral numbers, and they always use those. And
XVL.
No, they had LVI.
Okay, well, you know what?
Wow.
The live chat, help us out. All right, hold on, here it is. It's LVI. 55 and then the 1 or LV.
Wow.
LVI.
Right.
LV1. LVI.
Oh.
Yeah, it's 56. I'm pretty sure. But it could be 106 because I can't remember if L is.
Someone says it's a 56.
56. Got it. All right, anyway.
Here are the performers.
It just went down. We're watching the Super Bowl with a couple friends here at the house. Nothing big. Nothing too crazy. But I don't know about you, Morgan. I am always a little bit curious. Mm-hmm. One, what type of commercials are we going to see? What kind of vibes are we going to get? Mm-hmm. Obviously, the Super Bowl game in itself, enjoyable to watch. I know you aren't the biggest football fan.
No, I do not care about football. Sorry, guys.
Nevertheless, fun to watch the game. And then you got the infamous halftime show, and I've come to be like, what are we going to expect? You see political statements. Sometimes you see what I considered from the weekend's performance, it getting relatively dark, maybe demonic, heavy. And then you obviously have the sensual explicitness, which we saw from the J-Lo Shakira 2 years ago, and we made a video on that. Yeah. This year's, we're sitting here. It comes on. We saw the performers beforehand. Pull that picture back up, please.
Okay.
We knew that it was going to be the nostalgic 90s, early 2000s-esque. Snoop Dogg was biggest probably in the, what?
90s, early 2000s.
Snoop Dogg.
All of them.
Dr. Dre. People. Mary J. Blige.
Except Kendrick. I don't know why they decided to have Kendrick. He was like
a little later.
2015.
Maybe they wanted to throw someone that maybe the little bit of the younger people.
Because
it was a very millennial focused halftime show. It comes on, and the guests that were here with us, both Christians, we all were kind of moving to the grooving. Mm-hmm. And just ignore that so we can focus. Just put it down. Put it down. All right. Our guests and ourselves, we're just being real. We don't like to hide things and sugarcoat things. Snoop Dogg comes on, brought us back to our high school days. Mm-hmm. Dr. Dre, Eminem, and so we're kind of moving to the beat. Mm-hmm.
I don't know any of the lyrics. Let me just put that there. I didn't know a single song that they were actually singing until Eminem came on and sang the Lose
Yourself.
Yeah. But I didn't know any of the lyrics. I was just like bouncing to the beat.
Even if you grew up in a conservative Christian homeschool household, really like both of us did, even us, unless you were incredibly sheltered, which I'm not getting on you. It's not a bad thing to be sheltered to an extent. But even the Christian conservatives, homeschool households probably knew or had heard the Eminem "Lose Yourself."
Definitely.
Or had heard the Snoop Dogg, big songs that they played. Like,
yeah,
they're huge for the millennial generation.
My dad was a DJ growing up and like would sit around the house on his laptop preparing for like weddings and stuff. And so I would hear like Snoop Dogg and all these other random songs being played.
Yes, exactly. So we were kind of moving. I'm not going to get too caught up in the, I know that Eminem, he's got plenty of cursing in his stuff. I know Snoop Dogg has drugs references, and Dr. Dre, I think there's some political stuff in there. But nevertheless, I was okay moving to the grooving. I knew a couple of the lyrics. I've heard the songs plenty. Nostalgia, fine. Then the Eminem gets lowered from the ceiling like Spider-Man.
He came from a ceiling?
Not Eminem. 50 Cent. Fitty. Comes down like Spider-Man.
Oh, yeah. He was like hanging upside down. That was weird.
Yeah. And immediately it went from, this is a fun halftime show, to, okay,
all the girls come dancing around him, to the "Go Shorty, it's your birthday."
Is that the song?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. So let's just go ahead and just bring the synopsis, our overview, to a close. That song happened, and then you had, I think, Mary J. Blige come out after that, and whatever, and then the show was wrapped up. After the show, our guests and ourselves, we sat around just discussing it. I found it interesting because I guess in my mind, and Morgan, pull up the first tweet, pull up the Charlie Kirk tweet. There we go. I'm sitting there as this is going on, and then shortly after, and I'm like collecting my thoughts, and then I post on my Instagram and said, I even posted like a little poll before this saying, guys, halftime show, was it too sensual or were you okay with it? I see, well, but before I even read this tweet out loud, so we're discussing it, the people in our room here, and I was surprised to hear pretty different perspectives on it. So you kind of share where you were at, Morgan, and if you still hold that position.
All right, well, let me take this tweet down for a minute.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think me and two others that were there besides Paul, we were all kind of like, oh, that was such a chill, like pretty clean halftime show. That was really nice and refreshing. Like, this was good. Other than the 50 Cent thing. Like, I kind of just looked away. I got on my phone during the 50 Cent thing. And then afterwards it was fine. The rest of it was pretty clean. There were no cursing. At least I didn't hear any.
I know Snoop Dogg just kind of didn't say certain curse words.
Okay. Yeah, and it was just like pretty stinking clean compared to many Super Bowl shows before this one. And so me and two others were like, yeah, that was really good. Like, I appreciated that. I appreciated that they kept it pretty clean, that it didn't get crazy. It wasn't super political. I know they threw in some things here and there, but whatever. And so we felt good about it.
You guys did?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not getting on here. We've been I feel like we've been talking about modesty and stuff around that more than usual. I don't want to get on here and then be like labeled, just this extremist that expects the Super Bowl halftime show to be super wholesome and they be really conscious and Christian friendly. I'm not suggesting that, but I'm just being honest with where I'm at. Sitting on the couch, the Super Bowl halftime show wraps up, and in my spirit, I'm like, man, that was not good. That felt dirty. It felt very suggestive, and I'm primarily talking like if they had removed the 50 Cent's performance, I would have been okay with halftime show. I would have been like, that was one of the stronger halftime shows easily. I would have applauded it.
Yeah.
The 50 Cent performance, they had to put that in. I felt personally, I'm excited to hear your all's thoughts in the live chat. I felt personally like it went way too far, and that it ultimately was 50 Cent coming down, singing this song with stripper-esque, very scantily clad, very sexual dancing going on. So whether that was, okay, it was one song, it was a 3-minute portion of the entire Super Bowl, I was like, this is nasty. And so I'm just thinking to myself, hearing other people, and I again made the poll, and it was close to, I think it was like a 60-40 split. 60% said, I think the Super Bowl halftime show was okay. 40% saying no, it was too sensually suggestive. So the majority were with you guys, saying overall I was pretty good with it. To me, I didn't like it. And I just felt like them including that 3-minute song. I'm envisioning 13-year-olds, because I just held my hand in front of my face in front of the TV for that 3 minutes, and then it was pretty good again. But I'm just envisioning these 13-year-olds coming in, because this is such a big night of television, a football night, and them seeing that 3 minutes is a long enough time to really mess with a young kid.
I think it was not 3 minutes. I think it was like a minute and a half, maybe. But but I do agree with Paul in that, yeah, like I wouldn't want a 13-year-old kid or 10-year-old boy coming in and watching that part. If our kid was there, I'd be like, all right, look away. But I guess the question is, should we just avoid that fully in case there is, because their halftime Super Bowl show is known for being more sensual and whatever, so maybe we should just stay away from it altogether, not even attempt to let kids watch it, because yeah.
And I definitely saw a good amount of you guys just writing saying, I've learned my lesson. I avoided it. I stayed away from it. And it's a hard thing. And a question that I wrote here was, when again, we're not expecting a secular institution like the NFL to give us all really wholesome Christian friendly stuff. Right. But when does a secular institution go so far that they push Christians away, to where a Christian says, I'm done. I'm just done? When is that line? And I guess from past Super Bowls, it's kind of like they obviously pretty much have shown they have very little shame. They have very little care that there are Christians that are trying not to let filth and unwholesomeness come before their eyes. They don't have a lot of care for that. Yeah, go ahead and read the Charlie Kirk tweet real quick.
All right. Charlie Kirk said, the NFL is now the league of sexual anarchy. This halftime show should not be allowed on television.
And then there's the poll I did. And 55% of mostly my Christian audience said they disagree with Charlie Kirk.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's really extreme.
Explain.
Well, the League of Sexual Anarchy, this halftime show should not be allowed on television. Like, it feels like he's tweeting that to the J-Lo Shakira halftime show.
Which we would have probably all agreed with, or a majority of us.
Yes. Yeah, so, I don't know, it's like very...
Like I have like...
super intense.
My,
What?
What are these called? Not eyelashes.
Eyebrows?
I feel like my eyebrows are like sticking up.
What?
We're good.
So yeah, I don't know. I feel like it was pretty intense, but I also, I hear where you're coming from, but I don't know. I have a hard time coming fully to your side or his side and being like, yeah, it was disgusting. Like, it was like 30 seconds of nastiness that people need to look away from.
Yeah, I mean, I hear that.
And then the rest you can actually kind of enjoy. I don't know.
Yeah, so the question is just for a believer, and we're gonna all have to come to our own positions on this, because I again, like, lots of you commented and said I was just happy to see that it wasn't as sexually suggestive as past years.
Yeah, and so does that make it okay then that like it was only a little sexually suggestive, but is like, but it was still sexually suggestive. So
Yeah. Pull up a couple other tweets. Go ahead and pull up the so Alex Clark, who runs Poplitics, which is kind of Charlie Kirk.
owned by Charlie Kirk.
Yeah,
Turning Point USA.
As the head of Poplitics, she tweeted and was just saying that it was so,
The Super Bowl was for the 90s kids.
And then so she posted Charlie Kirk's tweet, her tweet, and said, and actually it was at the bottom of that one, but she said, "LOL, Charlie Kirk and real Alex Clark couldn't have felt more different about the Super Bowl halftime show. Who got it right?" And just looking through the top comments on that, and this is a conservative, I wouldn't say like Poplitics, her thing is.
Yeah, it's not like specifically Christian. They say that they're Christian, but they post some strange things sometimes.
They're very conservative. They're just a very conservative page. And the top comments said, "Wait, I'm actually confused as what Charlie is talking about. What did I miss?"
Candace Cameron Bure said 90s kids.
Candace is loving the 90s kids nostalgia.
Oh my goodness.
Christian Walker said, "I enjoyed it." Kendall Jones, "I sang all the words to all the songs, so the halftime show was a throwback for sure." Lots of other people saying, "I loved it." People saying it wasn't as bad as previous years.
And Candace Owens saying, "This is an excellent Super Bowl halftime performance. Undeniable hip-hop and R&B excellence."
So I guess what's throwing me for a little bit of a loop is I'm used to seeing what feels like the conservatives sticking together.
Yeah, now they're not on the same page.
Even husband and wife. What's the Bible verse? That husband and wife will, fathers and sons, children and their parents will be divided. They will go after each other. I'll tell you what, there is no division.
I don't care that much, so.
There is no division in this house. We may disagree, but it's a healthy disagreement.
Yes.
Come here. Come here.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like my thoughts have been a little bit scattered.
We've been a little bit scattered in this video, if y'all couldn't tell.
But let me read a few of what some people wrote to me, just in the DMs, and even some people that were commenting before we jumped on and clicked the go live button here in the chat. Someone DM'd me and said, "Definitely more sexual than I would prefer, but I think it was pretty mild compared to the past halftime shows as well as other televised performances. But our house loved," okay, and then talking about the football game, going back to the Charlie Kirk tweet where it maybe was too extreme, as he ended the tweet saying, "This should not be allowed on television." It's kind of like,
loves to be extreme.
He is a pretty extreme guy. I would agree. I don't think it should be allowed during the Super Bowl, the biggest televised event with lots of kids watching it. I don't think
there are way worse things on TV.
But it's like.
But yes, this is a televised thing that families are watching.
It shouldn't be a family-friendly TV broadcast, but throw it on your, music video, MTV.
If you really want to.
And for people that, it's not good, but.
Yeah.
Someone said, "I didn't think it was as sensual as last year. Everyone was relatively clothed. But I stopped watching when Eminem took a knee and Dr. Dre rapped, 'Still Not Loving the Police.'"
I didn't even notice that.
So that was a little bit of that side of things. Someone else said, "Honestly, compared to previous years, I think it was a little better. Most years we have to turn it off right from the beginning. This year there was a big portion of it where we could watch." And I'm not trying to just ignore that. Like, I appreciate that the whole thing wasn't sensual and.
Yeah, but I guess it is kind of like, and we talked about this, but okay, it wasn't as sensual, but there was still some sensuality, but like we were able to watch a good chunk. I don't know, maybe being okay with like, yeah, we're not gonna watch this at all because
I'm about at that point. I guess that's kind of what I'm trying to say is I'm about at that point where it's like Super Bowl, you've shown me time and time again, you don't care about me. A Christian man that's wanting to remain pure in what he sees, what he thinks about. You don't care about me. Super Bowl people, broadcast TV, you guys don't care about me. I'm over you. Not that that matters that much, but if enough people pushed back, we would see probably change.
Yeah,
a couple of you in the live chat before going live said, Apricity said, when the Upside Down Rapper came on the scene, I stopped watching because it essentially became a stripper show with the erotic half-naked dancing. Is that fair? Like, is that a fair comment? Because if we would agree with that it essentially became a stripper show with erotic half-naked dancing, and then we're just kind of saying, yeah, we were okay with the show. I'm not getting on you.
It's fine.
But it's like, if we're literally okay with that statement, which I totally am, I think it was, when 50 Cent came down and the dancers around him, the way they were dancing and dressing, I think this was a good description of them.
Yeah, so it's like, should we have turned it off right then?
I mean, are we really going to be just, typing on our social medias, that was such a fun halftime show, Candace Owens and Real Alex Clark, 90s throwback, if we're agreeing with that statement, even if it was just 2 minutes of the show? Just questions I want to bring up. Just questions that I feel are valid.
LA Revival says right on, Paul.
LA Revival, am I right or am I right? Am I right or am I right? I don't need to be right. I want to be right. I love to be right. Okay. I need to be right.
Okay, Michael Scott.
But no, a couple of you others said, this was again in the live chat earlier, I liked the show, fun throwback. Someone said, we watched it afterwards and skipped 50 Cent and Blige because of the dancing half-nakedness. So maybe if you wait till it's over, then you hear what people are saying, skip 50 Cent, skip Mary J. Blige, then you go back and watch the stuff that was decent. There's a place for that.
Yeah, I guess, in my mind, and I guess I need to not think about it like this, but I am comparing it to just past shows, and I'm like, this was kind of a breath of fresh air other than that part. But it's like, really? There are many other things that bring fresh breaths of air that you can watch. So, back to
Little House on the Prairie.
Yeah.
Back to the Duggars. Well, actually.
No.
Last comment I want to read. Said, I found the halftime show more conservative than usual. The women were mostly fully clothed. The only thing that started to bother me was 50 Cent's performance. It was probably one of my favorite Super Bowl halftime shows. I'm guessing All right, here we go. I'm guessing Morgan enjoyed it while Paul found it too sensual. How do you know? Was it that obvious? Coming into today's Paul and Morgan show, was it that obvious that I was going to be the one who had more struggle with it than Morgan? More of a problem with it.
Am I just so rebellious and wild?
Guys, comment below. Where are you at with it? Listen, you heard me give my passionate defense of where I stood.
Yeah, we did.
But, again, I was sitting here on the couch. The three other people in the room were more saying, I'm just glad it wasn't as bad as previous years, and I actually really enjoyed most of it. Okay. And then I'm over here saying, it really upset my spirit personally. Where are you guys at with it? Comment below. Let's keep the convo going. Were you more on my side of things, or were you more on Morgan's side? And maybe Morgan's coming more to my side. I'm not going to speak for you.
Oh, boy. All right. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed us talking about the Super Bowl for the third year in a row. If you're in the live chat, we'll be right back. If you're not, have hope.
I hope I'm not flashing gang signs. I'm just 3 years in a row, okay? Have hope and be free. As you may have noticed, we get very few brand deals, which is why our patrons, the names you see here, are so important.
You guys really are the lifeblood of this ministry. We could not do this without you all. If you believe in this content and you want to partner with us on Patreon, click the link below or just go to patreon.com/PaulandMorganShow.